Boro win again, all our rivals lose, and we're somehow clear in 5th. When we thought last weekend was good, this one was even better. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the channel and another episode of the Project Boro Show, where we of course review and preview every single Boro game here on the channel. And what a weekend this has been for Boro. Arguably even better than last weekend, which was a great weekend with Boro picking up the 3 points, coming from behind, opposition rivals dropping points. This was even better because Boro went away to a Blackburn side which provided a giant banana skin for Boro, with all the on and off field issues that are happening there, paired with a record there, paired with just what comes with a game like this and how many times Boro have slipped on banana skins like this in the past. It was a huge game. Playing first Friday night, opportunity to go 5th, with Coventry playing Burnley, West Brom playing Sunderland, Bristol City and Watford playing each other. It's one of them moments where you just beg and plead that Boro do not slip up like we've done many, many times in the past, and we take advantage of this huge opportunity. And my God, what an opportunity we've taken away to Blackburn, because it was a fantastic Boro win, getting the game done early, clean sheet as well, some really good improved performances and some massive positives coming out of certain areas of the pitch. Boro are just starting to improve. Players are starting to come into form, and we're starting to show signs of a winning team. Good substitutes from Carrick, good game management from the boys, good game management on the touchline as well. It was near enough the perfect away performance from Boro, and at a time when it mattered most, the boys pulled out the bag, and it puts us 5th, which I find absolutely wild. You know, I can't remember where we were after the Bristol City defeat all them weeks ago. We were at the bottom half, looked like the season was dead and buried, and it just goes to show what a good run of results can do for you. And the important thing, the big thing for me here is, yeah, you can say all you want, recent results, the added caveats that have been obvious. We've played fortuitous opposition. You still have to beat them, of course, but, you know, a complimentary kind fixture run for Boro, you could say. And in some of them games, yeah, we've gotten away with conceding quite a lot of big chances and finding a way to win, with the opposition just wasting chances. Oxford and Luton, the big culprits in them games. But this game, I feel completely content complimenting Boro's defence, complimenting the whole team, because there was no luck to this. We weren't helped by the opposition missing massive chances. We were very good at the back. The defence was absolutely fantastic. The midfield was as good as it's been for a long time, and some of the goals we scored, the quality, especially of Conways first, was top draw. So this was as good of a performance and win that I think Boro have had in a long time, paired with it being on the road, with our away performances not being great of late, and paired with the timing, the circumstances and what came with it. This was great from Boro. And to add even more joy to that, there's even more joy. I was there. Second away win in 2025 for me. Curse is well in the rearview mirror now, ladies and gentlemen. Turn that curse into a lucky charm. We saw them win at Hull on New Year's Day. We saw them win at Ewood last night. And I also just want to say I bumped into so many awesome Boro fans at the game last night. Didn't catch any of the names, but there was loads of people I ran into who were very complimentary of my TikTok content and the Project Boro stuff we do here on the channel. There was a guy with his family on the same row as me who I think was from the Northwest. I had a great chat with him. I know you're watching, pal. Didn't catch your name, but I want to say big thanks, and it was great to meet you and great to chat with you and your family, and it was just a great night all round, meeting all the Boro fans. Great night, and I thank everyone who stop by to have a chat and compliment the content. Means a lot. So let's get in then to this one, because it was a big game for Boro, and Carrick starting to do what he did in the playoff season a couple of seasons ago. He's keeping the same team pretty much every single game. I thought there might have been a change or two. I thought we might have gone with Rav Vandenberg. We ended up having to go with Rav Vandenberg due to an enforced injury, which wasn't great. That was probably the only negative to come out of the performance, if I'm honest. But he went with the same team, And I don't blame Carrick for that. There would have been tweaks I would have made, but I don't blame him for going for the same team at all. He mentioned after the Oxford game, took the same back four because it got him a clean sheet against Luton. Don't blame him for doing the same here. And I think that decision paid dividends in the end. Travers in goal, the same back four that had been our sort of makeshift but very good back four of late. Morris and Hackney, of course, in that midfield. He kept Bergzorg on the right hand side with Iheanacho behind Tommy Conway. And as I say, the game, well, it was over within 10 minutes. What a start it was. Tommy Conway with one of Boro's goals of the season. It came so quick, I didn't even catch it. I did do a matchday vlog. That is on the YouTube channel if you guys want to catch that. Should be live by the time you're watching this. The goal came too quick for me. I missed it. But what a goal it was. The perfect time to score as well. This was the sort of game where Blackburn's atmosphere and fans, it was very on edge. And the game could have swung one way or the other very quickly, depending on what happened in them early minutes. If Boro get the goal, their fans turn. And although they didn't turn, I wouldn't say, they were just very quiet from that moment onwards. Their atmosphere was just dead from that minute. However, on the other hand, had Blackburn scored, with the way their crowd was very emotional, with what was going on off the pitch, it could have galvanised them quite a lot, and they could have had that real siege mentality sort of attitude towards the game had they took the lead. So it was massive that Boro got in front here, and we did brilliantly. Great link-up play through the third, through the attacking players. Azaz and Iheanacho combining really, really well, but Tommy Conway was the man here. What a flick over the defender with his right foot, and then on the half volley, he hits it with his left right in to the top corner. A great touch and finish. A goal from the very highest level. And if this was scored in the Premier League, it would be on repeat on Sky Sports News. They wouldn't stop talking about it. This was top class from a top player. Tommy Conway has been a brilliant signing for Boro. He really has. I think he's close to matching his career tally of goals in the Championship in this season alone. I think he's already surpassed previous records in previous seasons. He's right up there and has been all season for the highest goals per 90 of any striker in the Championship. Conway scores goals, and he scored a cracker here. I just can't. I don't know how many times I've watched it. The touch over the defender. I mean, my God, Tommy, the bloke has a family. What you doing to him, mate? It's terrible. It should be a crime. And then, to finish on his weaker foot, left-footed finish. Top draw. Brilliant finish from Tommy Conway. And Boro made it 2 on the 8th minute. Iling-Jr, great goal from him. And a bit like when Neto scored against Oxford, it's great to see players score who I think really, really deserve it. And Iling-Jr.'s performances of late have been brilliant. He was great at left-back again. And he got his goal, well deserved. Boro playing it from the right-hand side. Bergzorg into Iheanacho. Iheanacho's second assist of the game is worth noting. Don't get me wrong, his finishing in this game was absolutely atrocious. But he's setting up goals, which, is just as good in my book. In his sort of number 10 position. Lays off Iling-Jr. Bit of fortune to the goal. Takes a deflection. But if you don't take a shot, if you don't gamble, this isn't going to happen. Takes a shot. Might have been going towards that bottom corner. Takes a deflection and goes into the back of the net. And it's an outstanding finish from Samuel Iling-Jr. And a very well-deserved goal from him. I'm absolutely delighted for him. He massively deserves it on recent performances, as I say. And it gave Boro a fantastic cushion to sit on for the rest of the game, really. It's always a dangerous scoreline, 2-0. If Blackburn get a goal back, it could give them the momentum. But they never looked like they were ever really going to get back into the game. Boro kept them at relative arm's length. I would say we still had a few half opportunities in the first half. Hackney had a shot that, from outside the area, which was a tough chance. Wasn't too far away. And Iheanacho had a shot with his left foot that he maybe should have done a little bit better with. We had a few opportunities to maybe make the game 3-0. I wouldn't say any of them were clear cut. And then I would say there was a slight drop off either side of the half. I think we maybe took our foot off a little bit. I mean, you expect a response from Blackburn massively. I think we more so let our foot off at the end of the first half. They come out much better, much stronger at the start of the second half. And we really didn't quite get a grip of the game for the first 10-15 minutes of that second half. I would say they really stepped up onto Boro. They were a little bit sharper. The first 15 minutes, Boro had to just steady the ship a little bit, I would say. You can see by the match momentum, we dropped off. Our dominance lasted until sort of 25 minutes, half an hour. Blackburn got back into the game towards half-time, and then up till the hour mark, they were right on top of Boro, but still didn't test us. There were a few half chances. Johnny Howson lost the ball on the edge of the box, which gave Todd Cantwell a half chance, which he didn't really make the most of. They did have a few other chances, but Boro, I think, sort of calmed things down, steadied the ship after the hour mark. Didn't really have many big chances after that. We were in good opportunities. We were in good areas. A lot of the ball was in Boro's half. Blackburn forced Travers into one or two decent saves. Hashi had a shot near post, which was well saved by Travers. They had another shot from outside the box, I think, which wasn't going in, but Travers still tipped it wide. Anyway, they had a header that went over, a couple of set pieces, a couple of corners, a couple of crosses, but overall I thought Boro defended their box extremely well, and obviously Blackburn were going to come back into the game. They were obviously going to have a spell, but I thought Boro defended their box really well. Of course, there was a slight downer on the game, as I mentioned earlier. Neto Borges had to go off down to an ankle injury that we don't know the severity of. I really hope for him and his current momentum and form it's not a big one and he can get back in soon. But Rav come in alongside Howson and did just as well. Howson himself was excellent for the most part. I thought the whole defence was, really. And despite Blackburn having a better spell, I thought Boro handled them very, very well. And we had so many big chances and big moments on the breakaway where we could have absolutely signed and sealed the game. We broke on a number of occasions, but the final ball, the final decision wasn't quite there. Bergzog was the culprit on a number of occasions. He broke down the right, had a chance to square it to Tommy Conway, completely misread the square ball. We broke with Iling-Jr, which was probably the slowest breakaway I've ever seen. He was just in too many minds, I think. He had way too much time to think about what he wanted to do. In the end, he sort of just threw a shot at goal and missed by an absolute mile. Azaz had a chance that he missed by a mile as well. We just didn't have the quality in the final third in that second half to really kill the game off. But thankfully, the work was done in the first 10 minutes and Boro just managed the game from that moment. And the big thing was we didn't give Blackburn a massive, massive chance to get back into the game, and that's what we've done in the past. So it was good to see Boro manage the game a bit better. There were times where players were going down, wasting a bit of time. Carrick made some really good subs, going to a three-man midfield. I think he might have gone to a five at the back had we had more centre-halves, but he put Barlasser into that midfield, pushed Hackney on. So we had a quite a compact midfield, bringing Giles on the left-hand side. So for the second game in a row now, and I didn't really mention this against Oxford, and I probably should have done, Michael Carrick in the last two games has showed real good signs of in-game management and some really smart substitutes, which is fantastic to see. So all credit to him, all credit to the boys. We saw the game out and it ended up being a relatively comfortable win for the Boro on the road, and a big one as well, and one that was well deserved. Looking at the stats, as you can see, Blackburn did edge the possession. I think most of that come from the second half when Boro were quite happy to sit off and defend our box and break on them. I thought we dealt with that really well. We did win the XG 0.9 to their 0.4. We had more shots, a few more on target as well. One thing I would say, we only had 3 shots on target, we were clinical when we did have them big moments early on in the first half. And then moving on to some of the performances, I mean, I could pick out so many individuals, but I thought it was a solid performance across the board. Mark Travers got man of the match. He wasn't my man of the match, but again, I can't compliment that man more. He has been a game changer in Boro's defence. He probably gives the back four loads of confidence, but he made big saves when needed, as he has done many, many times. He's just so comfortable at coming out and collecting the ball, catching it under pressure. He's a fantastic goalkeeper. He really is a top championship goalkeeper at the very least, and would be my first signing in the summer if Boro could bring him in. And he's probably the best goalkeeper we've had since Darren Randolph. It's been a long time since Boro have had a goalkeeper as good as Mark Travers, and we're so much better for him. And I'm sure he just gives the defence so much more confidence that he's there to sweep up any potential errors that might happen in front of him. And then talking to Boro's defence, I thought they were all great. I thought they all did a very, very good job. As I say, the one caveat in recent games why I've not been too high on Boro's defence is we did give up huge chances against Oxford, huge chances against Leeds, and on another day we could have lost both of them games and we'd be looking on Boro's defence a lot differently. Last night though, we didn't give Blackburn a sniff. We gave them barely anything in that game, and that was all down to Borough's defenders. And to be fair, they started with Maktar Gay, 6'5", a huge unit. I thought Howson and Borges dealt really well with him aerially, physically. That might have been what caused Borges' ankle injury in the end, actually, but they had to change it up. They brought Ohashi on second half, their other top goal scorer, a different player, a bit more pace. They tried to, instead of playing in front of Boro, they tried to run the channels. That didn't work either. Borough's defence had an answer for everything that Blackburn threw at them, so they all deserved immense credit. But for me, as part of the Boro team last night was the midfield. I thought Hackney and Morris were absolutely outstanding. Hackney got my man of the match. I thought he was on a different level last night. Offensively, he was great in possession, very great on the ball, good passing. But also the amount of times, and you'll see it in my vlog, the amount of times he put great challenges in, won the ball back, got possession back for Boro. He did pretty much a bit of everything last night. Hayden Hackney was top quality. And all I'll say, Boro fans, is, enjoy him while he's here, because I don't think Hayden Hackney will be here next season. I think these will be the final 6 games of his Boro career, because that guy is going to the top. And he was great last night, as was Morris. I think we are starting to see the best of Aidan Morris, as we did earlier in the season. He was back to his best last night alongside Hackney in midfield. And then attack-wise, I thought the quality of goals were great. Credit to Iheanacho, 3 goal contributions in 2 games. Now he's starting to be effective. His finishing was still pretty bad, but he set up 2 goals, which is brilliant. The first, Conway, out of this world finish and skill from him. And of course, the other was a good finish from Iling-Jr. Azaz and Bergzorg, I thought, played their part. Bergzorg still, I'm not a fan of on the right-hand side. I still don't quite think that's his best position. Whittaker, again, I think gave Carrick food for thought with a great cameo off the bench. Azaz, I thought, was decent off that left-hand side as well. And as I say, a couple of substitutes. Rav come in, 33 minutes in, did brilliantly up against their defence. Whittaker's cameo was great. Not much else to say for Dan Barlaser, Giles and Force's cameos, but what I will say about Carrick is they were great substitutes. Again, really good in-game management, just shoring things up in Boro's midfield and defence, which was absolutely great to see. The best thing to see of all, though, is the league table. As we know, Boro had a big chance with our playoff rivals, playing teams around them, playing teams above them, and we've capitalised massively on that. Bristol City's win does mean they are level on points with us in 6th, which means they're right behind us, having beaten Watford. But the key thing here is, Watford losing. It means the gap, that Boro have to 9th now is 6 points. You'd have to think with 6 games to go, it would be a huge ask for Millwall to get back into it now. Same for Watford, Norwich, Blackburn. Probably too much for them to do now to get back into the playoffs. So it is probably a 4-horse race now between Boro, Bristol City, Coventry and West Brom. And obviously with Coventry losing, West Brom losing, they've lost 2 in a row now. West Brom haven't won in 4. Boro have really took advantage of teams around them dropping points. And I think is it 5 wins in 6 now for Boro? A great time to hit form. And yes, we've played teams again who haven't been great, but you've got to beat the teams who are in front of you. And I think it's hopefully gave us a platform now ahead of much tougher games to kick on now and really take hold and take advantage of the fact we are in the driving seat in the playoff race now, with Coventry and West Brom dropping out unbelievably, Boro and Bristol City stepping in. But of course, I am not going to get too carried away. I'm over the moon that Boro find themselves in 5th. Something I never thought would have happened weeks ago, and everyone from the players, the manager, the coaching staff deserve immense credit for getting Boro back on track, you could say. But still, there are 6 games to go and the games get tougher, starting with Leeds on Tuesday night. What I did ask for was hopefully Boro could give themselves some room for error, some buffer in this run-in, and for the first time in a while we have done, because now we go in to that Leeds game, and unlike previously in these sort of games, it doesn't feel like a must-win. Obviously, we'd love to win it. We're much could be better off for winning it if we can. And unbelievably, Leeds are coming to the Riverside in terrible form. And of course, I will run through all this in my preview, which will be dropping tomorrow on Monday. But Leeds have drew their last 4. I think they've only picked up 1 win in their last 6, 7. Leeds are having a wobble. A vintage Leeds wobble at the end of the season, you could say. And I don't want to use a cliche, but it probably is a good time to play Leeds United. And all the pressure's on them. on Tuesday night. They need to win, now dropping down to third. And although, yeah, it would be great for Boro to win, I'd love us to win, I want us to win, we could do a winning. It's not a must-win. It's not one of them games where if Boro don't win, you feel like, oh God, we're in trouble now. If we were in 8th or 9th, this would feel like a must-win. Because we're 5th, a point you sort of go, okay, we take it, we move on to the next one. And that's all because of the position we've put ourselves in. So huge credit to Boro for putting themselves into a better position going into a game as big as this. Albeit, yeah, we can't at any point disregard how tough of a test Leeds will be. But I'm hoping Boro, off the back of some really good results, will head into this game with confidence. All the pressure's on Leeds. And if Boro can really make it difficult for them on Tuesday night, we could be in for a massive night at the Riverside. And, you know, on the other hand, if Boro find a way to win this game, there's no bigger confidence booster at all. And if we can find another big result, with again results going our way, you then look at it with 5 games to go and think, wow, things have opened up massively for Boro. And suddenly we're looking like favourites for playoffs, which is mad. So another big game on Tuesday. I will, of course, be back to preview that tomorrow and review it on Wednesday. But fair play to Boro. What a big win this was against Blackburn, and what a fantastic position we've put ourselves in. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, guys, as always, smash a like on the video, subscribe for much more. As I say, we preview and review every single Boro game here on the channel. Comment below your thoughts whether you're a Boro fan, Blackburn fan or neutral. And as I mentioned earlier on in the video, a big thank you for all your support, and to everyone who come up to me at the game yesterday to chat to me about the content, be very complimentary about what I do on TikTok and YouTube. Massively, massively appreciate that. Didn't catch your names, but you guys know who you are. And as I say, I'll be back tomorrow to preview another big one against Leeds United. But until then, guys, do take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. It's been another belter if you're a Boro fan, because we're up to 5th and in the driving seat for the playoffs with 6 games to go. But I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you guys then. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all in the next one.